This is going to be a video on how to do long range sniping with our current mod set. First you need to make sure that you can actually use your gun and scope with the firing computer. Now this is a hit or miss with the different mods we're using, but one combination I found that works pretty well is the M200 intervention rifle with the Mark IV M5 scope. When you've got that, you need 3 different accessories. First is the HVAC MX firing computer, the Kestrel 4500 and the Vector 21 rangefinder. I've set up a target at the end of the runway down there. You should be able to see it through the spotting scope. There it is. So let's see if we can take down this target. First you press Shift K. You can see an arrow in the top left corner of the screen. This indicates your wind direction. Then you go into your self-interaction menu, go into the open Kestrel, make sure it's set to wind speed. If not, you can use the up and down arrows to set it so. Then go back and press show Kestrel. Now we're going to have the wind speed and wind direction for the duration of the sniping. What we need to do now is to input data into the targeting computer. Make sure the caliber up here corresponds with the gun you're using. If not, you can go into the gun list here, find whatever you're using, press open gun. This automatically adjusts the gun parameters. The atmosphere can be adjusted as it does affect your shots in extreme cases. But if we're just in a normal area, you don't want to mess with this. But you can, again, use the Kestrel to show this data. The important thing to do now is to look at the target data. We already know the wind speed and wind direction from over here, so we're going to input that in a moment. The rest of this can be input manually, or you can use the Vector 21 to do it automatically. That's why we're using the Vector 21, although other rangefinders do have better zoom or thermal. Now one thing before putting in the wind speed and wind direction is that on the server you gotta be pointing into the wind to get a proper reading, like in real life. This isn't implemented in this single player instance. I don't know why, but I couldn't make it work. So always make sure it's pointing into the wind when you're measuring wind. Also make sure there are no obstructions right next to you, as they do give you other values. As you can see now, it's saying 1.9, 2.2, 1.5. But if I go out into the open, I get a steady reading of 2.9 meters per second. Now we need the Vector 21 to put in the rest of the data for us. So we're going to find our target in the scope. There it is down there. You want to press Tab and R as in Romeo at the same time and hold them down until you get this red ring in the middle. Then you just focus your rangefinder on the target and release both buttons at the same time. There we go. Just to make a quick check, we can see, yep, these data do correspond 150, 150, 1177, 1177. Now we're gonna put in the wind speed and wind direction. So we say 2.6 right here, which is meters per second. Make sure you use the number 1 block here and not number 2. Then you take the wind direction. This is where the wind is blowing from and not to. So as we can see up on this arrow right here, we're going to say 9 o'clock. And we press done. Now we have all the data we need. You just press update here and you get some values. So the elevation is going to be 8.9. I'm just going to write this down. And the windage is going to be 0.8 left. Now you go into your gun and use page up or page down to adjust the elevation. If you need to take long range shots where you really need to change the elevation more quickly, you can hold down Shift and then press page up or page down to go in increments of full numbers, as you can see on the screen. So we put in the 8.9 as we just figured out using the computer. And now you want to press Control or page up or page down to adjust windage. Now the minus numbers indicate left and the plus numbers indicate right. So we're going to say 0.8 left, which means minus 0.8. As you can see, the wind speed is currently fluctuating. So before we do anything else, just to make sure, we're going to go into the computer, update the wind speed real quick here, update. It's still 0.8, so it doesn't matter. This is why it's great to have a spotter who can update these numbers all the time. Now with the scope dialed in, we should be able to just point right at the target and make a hit. Let's and target down. Just gonna do one more shot where I don't make the scope fly everywhere. So just to do a quick recap here, you want to make sure the caliber is set right. You want to set all the target data. You're going to set most of it using Tab and R on the Vector 21 rangefinder. And you're going to input the wind speed and wind direction manually by using the Kestrel and the Shift K wind direction arrow up here. Going to press done and update and use these numbers right here to dial in your scope and point straight at the target, and that's it.